Hi, my name is Morrie Richfield, and I am the author of Mr. Breeze and the sequel, Revelation. The reason that I'm here today is to answer questions that you have sent in. I have a list of questions here that was sent in to me by readers requesting information, and I'm going to do my best to give it to you today. The first question is, "Hi Morrie, I just love Mr. Breeze, and when I found out you had the sequel, I was ecstatic. Can you tell us a little about your new book?" Well, Mr. Breeze basically introduced us to characters. One of them was Michael Ryan. The other, of course, was our maker, who called himself Mr. Breeze, or Zachary Breeze, and a rather unusual dog named Rover. In the sequel, takes place 2 years later, and the world is probably about as screwed up as it was 2 years ago. And this time, Michael Ryan is set to the task of trying to save us from ourselves. Whether or not he succeeds, well, that's what the book is about, and that's where the revelation comes in. It's not only a revelation for Michael Ryan, but it should be a revelation for all of us, every single human being on the planet. Okay, question number 2. You write incredibly fast, yet exceedingly well. How long did it take you to write Mr. Breeze, and then how long did it take you to write Revelation? Well, I don't know about writing exceedingly well, but it did take me 10 months to write Mr. Breeze, and it took me a little more than 5 months to write Revelation, which is about 50 pages longer. I think I got a little better at the skill. I'm told that though I am an amazing storyteller, my actual skill as a writer is not exactly up to par, but I am told that I have mastered my craft a little better when it comes to Revelation. Okay, here we are. Question number 3. Did you hit any kind of writer's block at any point, and can you give authors a tip on what to do if that happens to them? Well, I don't really know what to say about that because I have never hit a writer's block. I still don't use notes. I just write whatever comes out of my head at any given day, and hopefully it comes out something that people like. And that's pretty much how I do it. I would give advice to any writer: don't ever give up, because you never know what can come in the end. Okay, let's see. Question number 4. By the way, why did you choose a German Shepherd to be in your book and play such an important part? Well, I don't know if some of you are old enough to remember, but when I was a kid, there was a show called Rin Tin Tin. And I grew up with Rin Tin Tin, and to me, Rin Tin Tin was the coolest thing. He kind of taught me about right and wrong. Guess you could say my parents should have done that, but I think I learned it more from a German Shepherd. So I decided to honor him and make Rover a German Shepherd in both books. Let's see. I've heard authors say they write what they know. Where did you get the inspiration for this book? Well, I certainly don't know anything about being our maker. I do know what it's like to be a citizen and a human being, to live on this planet and to see all the terrible things that happen. And certainly, like most of you, I'm sure, I'm fed up with it, and I'd like that this world could change. And hopefully, maybe someday it will. I will never give up hope that that's possible. Okay, let's see. What was the most important thing you learned about writing or publishing books that might help aspiring authors? Well, the most important thing I learned is that unless you're a big name, the chance of a publishing house being interested in you is slim to none. Most agents pretty much won't even reply to you, and I don't even think they actually read your submissions anyway, but that's just my personal opinion. It's funny. They may pay me millions of dollars to make movies, but I guarantee you, movies for my books, probably no publisher will ever touch my books. Okay, let's see. Do you see a little of yourself in Mr. Breeze? No, I do not. I think sometimes I feel like Michael Ryan. I'm trying to save the world, but unfortunately, I don't have our maker or a dog with superhuman powers on my side. Is your book more character-driven or plot-driven? I don't really know about that. I would say the first book was probably plot-driven, but this one might be more character-driven. Revelation, I think. Okay, where do you live? I live in a house in Pennsylvania. And what is my home life like? Well, I'm fortunate enough to have a very amazing woman in my life, and she has 2 daughters, and I have 2 sons, and between us we have 4 dogs and a cat. It's pretty exciting thing. I'm a very lucky guy, and I love them all. Let's see. If you could choose one of your traits to pass over to your children, what would that be? Well, I always tell my sons that the most important thing in life is to be a really good man. And if there's nothing else I would pass on to them, it's just the desire to be a good man, no matter what that means, no matter to your, you really have to try hard sometimes in this world, but I think being a good person is the only thing that I would ever want my sons to be. What's next for you? More books? Well, yes, probably. I'm now working on a new book called Priest. It's not about a priest, by the way. And I'm actually going to come out with a series of children's books based on my children's lives. Actually written for kids. And they're kind of like children's fairy tales that tell stories. Well, that's about it for today. And if you have any other questions, please send them in, and I'll be glad to do these videos. We have to do the next one with someone interviewing me, but for now, Morrie Richfield signing off saying, let's all try to change the world together.